Hello everyone! My name is Ainu Shahira binti Yusuf. My matric number is 264328. My subject is BJTC 3033, Building Facility System. What is water supply? Water supply is provisions to deliver water to consumer with appropriate quality, quantity, and pressure by public utilities, commercial organizations, community individuals by an individual, usually via a system of pump and pipes. Water supply system infrastructure for the collections, transmissions, treatment, storage, and distributions of water for homes, commercial establishments, industry, and irrigation, as well as for such public needs as firefighting and street flushing. All municipal service provisions of potable water is perhaps the most vital. What is purpose of water supply? The function of a water distribution system is to deliver water to all customers of the system in sufficient quantity for potable drinking water and fire protection purpose at the appropriate pressure with minimal loss of safe and acceptable quality and as economically as possible. People depend water for drinking, cooking, washing, carrying away waste, and other domestic needs. In 2010, about 84% of the global population, 6.74 billion people, has access to the pipe water supply. According to the Minister of Environment and Water, Datuk Tuan Ibrahim Tuan Main in Sinar Harian on 3 August 2020 state that consumption per litre of water per day increased from 160 liters per day to 219 liters per day. This shows that water supply is very important in human life. Why water supply is very important to building? Distribution system for a building. Water is conveyed from the street means to the individual buildings, then to the taps and other features. The supply from the main lines to the individual is made through the house service connection. It consists two types. First, communication pipes. The pipes which runs from the municipal distribution means to the boundary of the premise. Second, supply pipes. The pipe which runs inside the premise. System of supply. Water supply from the mains to the buildings is through one of the following systems depending on the pressure of the water and timing of the supply. First, direct supply system, upward distributions, which is supply the water directly given to the various floor with required pressure for sufficient hours. This only useful for the building which is not more than 2 floors. Separate connections to provided for domestic and non-domestic requirement. Second, indirect supply system, downward supply. Used generally when the pressure is not sufficient. The water is pumped directly to the overhead storage tank, and from there the water is supplied to different floors by the gravity. Underground groundwater recharge, groundwater flows, deep drainage or deep absorption is a hydrological process by which water moves downward from surface water to groundwater. Water flow is the main method of water in drain and aquifer. This process usually occurs in the suspension zone below the plant roots and is often expressed as a flux to the surface water level. Water flow occurs both naturally through the water cycle and through anthropogenic process in which rainwater and or reclaimed water are direct down the surface. Groundwater is used for drinking water by more than 50% of the people in the United States, including almost everyone who live in rural areas. The large use for groundwater is to irrigate crops. Aquifers are typically made up of gravel, sand, sandstone, or fractious rock, like limestone. Water can move through this material because they have large connected space that make them permeable. The speed at which groundwater flows depends on the size of the space in the soil or rock and how well the space are connected. Groundwater can be found almost everywhere. The water table may be deep or shallow and may rise or fall depending on many factors. Heavy rains or melting snow may cause the water table to rise, or heavily pumping of groundwater supply may cause the water table is fall. Surface water is any body of water above ground, including streams, rivers, lakes, wetlands, reservoirs, and creeks. The ocean, despite being salt water, is also considered surface water. Surface water participates in the hydraulic cycle or water cycle, which involves the movement of water to and from the surface. Precipitations and water runoff feeds bodies of surface water. Evaporation and seepage of water into the ground, on the other hand, cause water bodies to lose water. Deep into the ground is called groundwater. Surface water and groundwater are reservoirs that can feed into each other, while surface water can seep underground to become groundwater. Groundwater can resurface on lands to replenish surface water. Springs are formed in this location. There are three types of surface water: perennial, ephemeral, and man-made. Perennial or permanent surface water persists throughout the year and it replenishes with groundwater when there is little precipitation. Second, ephemeral or semi-permanent surface water exists for only part of the year. Ephemeral surface water includes small creeks, lagoons, and water holes. Last, man-made surface water is found in artificial structures such as dams and constructed wetlands. Water source in Malaysia. Water resources in Malaysia are abundant and available throughout the year. 76% of water was used for agriculture, 11% for municipal water supply, and 13% for industries. Thus, only less than 1% of available water resources is used for drinking water supply. Malaysia has both surface water and underground water. There are a lot of rivers, streams, oceans, and reservoirs. Malaysia has a water supply system that process so that the people of Malaysia get the clean water for doing daily activities such as bathing, cooking, drinking, and so on. 98% of water in Malaysia are from surface water, while the remaining percent is underground water. Agriculture sector use appropriate 76% of all available water, of which 90% is used for rice production. It was also found that demand for water is high in the states, which are supporting heavily industrialization and large-scale agriculture for rice production. Moreover, growth in population and urbanization as well as improved living standards in imposing additional pressure on the water resources in the country. As a result, the per capita availability of water is decreasing. On the other hand, national coverage water supply has increased from 80% of the total population in 1990 to 95% in 2010. The population in Malaysia is increasing year by year. The more population, the more water will be used in the household. Although Malaysia has many sources of clean water, but the number is declining because people not operate water well. In addition, Malaysia also has water problems associated with industrial factories. The more progress in Malaysia, the more factories are built for industrial purpose. Factories produce toxic waste that is discharged into river, causing river in Malaysia to be polluted. For example, the Kin River in Johor has been polluted due to a nearby factory dumping the toxic waste. Membrane technology has become dignified separation technology over the past decennia. The main force of membrane technology is the fact that it works without the addition of chemicals with a relatively low energy use and easy and well-arranged process conductions. Membrane technology is a generic term for a number of different very characteristic separation processes. These processes are of the same kind because in each of them a membrane is used. Membranes are used more and more often for the creation of processed water from groundwater, surface water, or wastewater. Membranes are now competitive of conventional techniques. The membrane separation process is based on the presence of semi-permeable membranes. The principle is quite simple. The membranes act as a very specified filter that will let water flow through, while it catches suspended solids and other substances. There are various methods to enable substances to penetrate a membrane. Example of this method are the application of high pressure, the maintenance of a concentration gradient on both sides of the membranes, and the introduction of an electric potential. Membrane occupy through a selective separation wall. Certain substances can pass through the membranes, while other substances are caution. Membrane filtrations can be used as an alternative for flocculation, sediment purification techniques, absorption, sand filters, and active carbon filters, ion exchange, extractions, and distillation. There are two factors that determine the effectivity of a membrane filtration process: selectivity and productivity. Selectivity is expressed as a parameter called retention or separation factor. Next, productivity is expressed as a parameter called flux. Lastly, selectivity and productivity are membranes dependent